instincts, anger, fear, disgust, they're instilled into our genetic material. But do they really have a use in the modern world? Maybe if you're a caveman running around in Africa and you see a cheetah chasing after you, the genetics are going to help you because maybe you've never seen a cheetah before, but you see like its sharp teeth and its glowing eyes, and you just know that you have to get away from that situation. But now in the modern world, you see there aren't really many dangers around. Maybe cars are the closest thing that comes to cheetahs in the modern world. So does fear still have a place in the modern world? Well, I'm going to share some stories with you, and hopefully you can take away something from this and see if fear still is helpful or if it's just a detriment to our livelihood. So a while back, I was sleeping in a cabin, and my body's natural urges just called, and I really had to go to the washroom. But the problem was, I was in a cabin, and the washroom was, a couple hundred meters away, and I would have to walk through the freezing cold. So, half awake, I woke up, and I exited the cabin, and I was just in basically shorts and a t-shirt while it was like negative 10 degrees outside. So, I was really sleepy, I was walking along the path, and then I see two glowing white eyes just staring at me. And I didn't know what to make of this, so I just looked at it. And then I realized it was looking back at me. So I just looked at its silhouette, and I could tell that it was a raccoon. And I have no idea what danger they pose to humanity, but in that moment, I just saw its two glowing white eyes, and I knew I had to get away. So I ran back to my cabin, and I never went to pee that night. But that's an example of how fear, it can harm me, because even though the bathroom was closer to me than the cabin, I still went to the cabin because I wasn't thinking properly. The fear just took over my emotions. So in the future, maybe I can, learn how to better deal with these types of situations. Okay, here's another story of where fear was actually helpful. So a couple summers back, I was in Vancouver Island, and they locked me in a room with a bunch of teenage boys. So if you know anything about teenagers, you know that if you put them in a room for a while, they're going to come up with something stupid. And it didn't take long until that happened, because someone found behind his locker an old bottle of Gatorade juice.
Oh no.
And there's no telling how old this bottle of Gatorade was. It could have been here for 2 days, 2 decades, nobody knows. But he just grabbed it and drank it.
Of course he did.
And some bright genius had the idea to add energy drink powder to this Gatorade juice. And that was just the start. This kind of became a community project. They called this Giggle Juice. And
Oh god.
before you knew it, they'd add like meatloaf and spinach and tofu into it. And I didn't know what was going into this because, as I said, this was a community project. People were just adding random
Ingredients.
I wouldn't even say food, just stuff inside.
Ingredients.
And people were starting to bet on this. So they would at night, they would all gather around. It's kind of like a cult. They would gather around and start eating this and bet real money on how much of this giggle juice they could eat. So obviously, every day, it just became more and more rancid. I just smelled it, and it was like rotting corpses. Ooh. So every day, I just became more and more scared of it, and I didn't want to be anywhere near that. And in this case, the fear actually helped me because it wasn't long after until one morning, I walked into the bathroom, and I heard someone go, wait. And 10 minutes later, someone said they found yellow curry all over the toilet seat. Anyways, I don't have to get into the details of that because 5 people, they all got food poisoning. No wonder they got food poisoning. They were eating 1-week-old unrefrigerated milk. And obviously, these people didn't have any sense of survival. They didn't think, they were not scared of this Giggle Juice at all. And you could tell that these people were the less smart people of the bunch, because when they were sick, they would still keep on doing these less than smart things, like throwing Tide Pods at each other or whatever. So anyways, that's an example of how fear helped me. So I'm going to start ending this speech off now. So fear, it can protect us, but it can also harm us. So ultimately, how do we know if fear is in our benefit or if it's going to, be damaging to us? Well, there's two things that I think you need to consider. Is fear holding you back from something important, like having to pee? Or is it holding you back from eating spoiled milk, which is, in my opinion, not very important? And the second thing is fear, is the fear based on a lie, or is it based on something you knew? Because when I saw that raccoon, I didn't know that raccoons were actually, not very dangerous to humans. So that was based on a lie. But I knew that whatever the teenagers were putting inside Giggle Juice, I knew that it was something bad. So that was based on a truth. So in conclusion, sometimes overcoming fear, if you overcome fear, sometimes it's advancing you in your growth. But other times, fear is just wisdom in disguise. Thank you. Back to you to the semester. Okay, Jackson.